Hello, episode. I am by myself today and I'm going to record in English. I wanted to do a solo episode. We are almost closing the year. We are coming to a closing of the year. And as I told you about the different stages we are going through energetically before we're entering the new. We are just right today, when I'm recording this on Thursday, the 15th of January, we are shifting from the 61st energy to the 60th energy. And the 61.5 is my moon and my Venus gate. So my IQ sphere also in the Gene Keys system. And I wanted to talk about and remind us all about the no mind because I see a lot of measurements going on. I wanted to talk about the nature of the mind and just a reminder how the mind works. The mind measures, and we live the energetic nature of this reality is dualistic. So it always measures. So it's an invitation to come into the body. And if you're a Reiki practitioner working with Reiki energy. It's so funny because Reiki means universal life force, and that's Ray, and then Ki means this map. No, it's the opposite. Ray is the map, and Ki is the life force. And I think it's so funny that the human design and Jinky charts are those maps. So this is another reminder of that human design and the Jinky system is separate from life. I see this quite a lot now as well when people, and this is the first step. Like these are the steps. I understand, like I'm here as well, but I just want to remind us all that that's not how to use the system. The system is part of life. Try to see the system as a life. Don't try to fit yourself into the system. Like let life amaze you of the construct of life rather than uh, uh, trying to fit yourself into it. And I feel like this is the energy of the 61. Like let the answers come to you. Don't go hunting for them. They will arrive. But then also, as Reiki teaches us, are you listening? Are you listening to the map? Are you listening to the mechanical nature? I remember in the beginning of when the human design system came into my life, I was grieving so much. And I think that has been a big part of the journey with the system is the grief of the misidentification of so many things and also waking up to uh, waking up to what's behind the illusion. And this is something I feel is so important because now we're stepping into gate 60 that is asking you, can you let go? And letting go, grief is such a big part of letting go. You have to allow yourself to breathe. And you have to say, because when you grieve, you can breathe deeper. And that is an important part of that process. And I'm not saying you can force it, but I saw myself run away from myself because there was just too many things to deal with, I felt. So I had to, like, one of my coping mechanisms is to run away. And I learned so much this year that old coping strategies doesn't work anymore. And that is fascinating. Of course, it's painful in the moment, but it's fascinating when you learn that old coping mechanisms doesn't work anymore. Then you've actually done the work. It's just like letting go. It's the last part, like grieve it, let go. That does not belong to your reality anymore. And that's fine. That's the part of the human journey. The human journey isn't those facades that so many people are pretending that life is about. Life is magical because of of the polarity. My life is magical because of everything. But the more we hold on to the fears, the more we hold on to old versions, the fear takes hold of us and it will get you stagnant in places where you don't want to be stagnant. But I also want to be kind here because I saw myself, but the first reason why I was running away from myself was because I thought I made a mistake. Uh, Even though I know intellectually that mistakes, you can't make mistakes, but it's another thing to live from that place. And now, when coming out of the other side, I can see the beauty of how the individual and the collective works together and the human journey for what it is. I'm not saying that I am fully embodied in this awareness, but I am definitely one one level deeper because I can feel how unpersonal it is when the collective energies pull us into that field because it's almost like I almost see it like, oh my God, what an honor. I got to transmute that. Like when we talk about the core wounds, when we actually can face our core wounds for what they are, it's like, oh my God, what an honor. I got to transmute that. I got to transform that. That's fucking amazing. Like, good on you. And this is where I want to remind you about all of your open centers and all the wisdom, the potential of wisdom. Because if you're gonna stay victim in these energies, it's not wisdom, is it? It's that you're stuck in the drama triangle. But when you can face it from the level of, oh my God, I've got so much to learn. I used to think that it was a bad thing. See, the good and the bad, the mind measurement. I used to think it was a bad thing that I had so many open centers or undefined. Um, but it's a beautiful thing. I am here to learn a lot, and that's messy. And if there's anything I've learned this year, is also about the cycles. We are constantly in cycles, but the world out there wants like it's an illusion that wants you to think that things happening in some kind of linear way, but it isn't. And when you can see where in the cycle you are and what the cycle is trying to teach you right now, that's grounding. Oh my God, I so many people this year reached out to me and asked me how to ground when things are tough. Let me tell you what grounds me the most is not the coping strategies of like, oh my God, breathing. Yeah, of course, as a way of coming into the body. But let me tell you, it's the systems because they remind me of where I am and how things mechanically actually works. And it's not, as I said, it's not about putting like eventually you won't even need the map because the map is a tool to get beyond the illusion. When you know the structures in and out, you will be able to see it out there, and then the map will just be a confirmation of everything you saw or experienced or felt. And those things also started to happen to me this year, and it was incredible. Like the year before this one, so 2024, my confidence was so low. And I tried to break out of it in so many ways that I know that I could rely on before. And it worked to some degree, but I was still running away from the grief. And it caught up with me this year and this winter, this autumn and this winter. And it's been very liberating. It's been awesome because I'm so grateful for every lesson now, but because I can see it for what it is, and I can see the honor in the process of facing certain things because when you can see things for what they are, as I said, they become less and less personal. You let go, but let it go. grief is an important process, and it can be challenging to face your grief if you have a belief of that you're not safe. And this is why so many people don't grieve, because because they let fear run their life, instead of just allowing and surrendering to life. I know surrendering can be such a fucking triggering word, but it's true though. Your spiritual practice is important. It's very important. It's such a big part of being human, and it's beautiful. I want to remind you of that. And you might be aware of your patterns. I've been aware of my patterns for a long time now, and I'm also starting to face new patterns I wasn't aware of. That also is funny. It becomes funny, of course, when you're in the gunk, when you're in, oh, yeah, when you're in the gunk, it's not fun. But when you have the map, when the map can remind you of your journey, it becomes a joke. It becomes a joke. Does that mean that shouldn't go into defense mechanisms? Like I've been so much in my defense, and I think many people felt that in my field. I've been so defensive. I got a line 5 in my IQ, and do you know what funny is? Like I've been in the Venus sequence many times, but it doesn't land until it lands. And the IQ, let me tell you, like last year, like a year ago in the new year. I went deep into my IQ sphere to really understand it. And the funny thing was that when I was reading, contemplating, I went down into the where we do laundry here, and it was so interesting because my neighbor came down, and she was so angry and defensive, and I was just like, I was amazed. I was like, oh my God, this is like the archetype, like in its purest defensive nature. This is now standing here before me. What a fucking gift. What a gift. So it was uncomfortable, yes, but I could also just see the beauty of that, like of life showing me like in an instant. And I was like, wow. And that energy was with me a lot this year. A lot. And also it helped me see where life tried to fool me. Uh, so it's so helpful to understand these defensive patterns and also learn about the other ones, because when you learn the other ones, you can see when other people are in a defensive nature, because defensive nature, oh my God, there's so many nuances to it. And when you can see it, I don't mean that you are supposed to excuse it, but you don't have to get triggered by it. You don't have to go into your defensive patterns because someone else's defensive patterns is in the work. Do you know what I mean? Like you can take yourself out of that performance of drama. Humans fucking love drama. Humans love drama. That's what we hear. That's what we hear. Um, and yeah, there was another thing. I wrote some things up I wanted to talk about now when we're closing this cycle. And anxiety. Anxiety is such a human thing. People think it's so personal. It's not. It's very human. And I want to ask you, because I see this a lot. I see a lot of people being very anxious, and they're putting these band-aids on and thinking it's gonna go away. It will never go away. You can take the strongest of medicines, but if you don't start making decisions as yourself, that anxiety will never go away. If you don't start living from a place of trust instead of fear, that anxiety will never go away. If you do things for the money, if you're, I see this a lot. I see people being at a job because the money is good and then they have anxiety. Hello, will the sun rise tomorrow? Just asking because it's very simple, you know. You don't have to be a rocket science to do the math there. So I want to I just want to send that out there because I don't want to sit in sessions and, take up time, money, and space to just go through that because let that be out there. Let's face that first before we start entering the nuances. Um, yeah, and it's a journey to start making decisions as yourself, and it's a journey to face those fears. But as long as you don't, that anxiety will always be there. It's the fear running the show, you know, after 2027. I don't know. Like I'm gonna start calling myself like I'm starting to see it as a gift that I number uno make people uncomfortable and numero second. What was I saying yesterday to myself? Making piss people off and make people uncomfortable with truth. I yeah, let's fucking enjoy that. It's a good thing. If that's not a bad thing, I just want to say that because and if people shrug you off, just you really don't have like you've done your part. You planted the seeds and people can do whatever they want with the truth. If they want to stay in the illusion, let them. And but make sure you travel on on your golden path. I brought this. I always have this one in Reiki treatments. It's a golden healer, the golden path. Mm, yeah, and I'm looking forward. Um, I don't want to speak too much of the future ahead. We'll do that on the 22nd. But because I want to honor us looking back now on this year because the whole world is all about they're already in summertime. Do you know what I mean? That's not how I want to live my life. I want to live in alignment with the cycles. I want to live in alignment. I don't want to live from a place of fear or um yeah, that's it. I want to honor things for what they are. And yeah, I hope. And I know I would make so-called mistakes in that, but I'm willing to share my lessons. I want to be with people that also are doing this journey, but their own, obviously. This is what I say, like when we do yoga, it looks like we're doing the same fucking thing. We're not. We are doing our own inner journey. We are doing our own process. We're all facing different things wherever we are. Um, okay, this is what I wanted to bring to this 60th energy we're going into now. And yeah, invitation is to look at your open and undefined centers. What did you learn this year? What did you become wise about? What did you become wise about? For me, just center wise, and this was never an intention. This just happened along the way when I started studying human design. I was starting to experience uh, the different um, the different centers in interaction with people. I started to know what a healthy and unhealthy spleen feels like. I started to feel the emotional waves of other people. I'm not there yet to not take it personal. That is a fucking journey. And also people's root centers, that is a journey as well because it's so collective. Oh, it's that is something I hopefully can really let go this year. Stepping into, uh, I can feel someone's defined sacral center and where they are with that. But something I hadn't contemplated, or like I wasn't even contemplating, it was just like I was just noticing. And then the heart center this year, I got to feel. And obviously we learn so much all the time, but it's in the interaction with other people. And it's been such a joy this year to also meet aligned people. It doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, it is a joy that is beyond. It's amazing. And I want to remind you of that. I want to remind you of the nature of your mechanics and what is uh, what do you call that? Broadcasted from your system when you're living in alignment. You're not, you're not self or self-projected aura. You're not self or you're self-generated aura. You're not self or self-manifesting aura. It's not like and we can all feel it. We all know it because it's mechanics. You cannot think your way towards things. You can't measure your way to things. You can't drop the mind. The mind is not authority. Your body is, your inner authority is. And as long as you look for things outside of you to make decisions for you or to come into that alignment, to make the measurements part of your alignment, no. No, the measurements is entertainment. Um, yeah, thank you so much for tapping in today. Let me know what's going on for you if you want to. Yeah, I wish you a happy last part. No, I wish you a reflective last part of this year. And yeah, let's talk more about the future on the 22nd. More information will come about that soon. Bye.